This is a follow-up to the video on sexual remapping, and more specifically on a comment I made in that I stated that I didn't really care about quality of sex, that wasn't my motive. So I'd like to expand on that. Nice choice of words. You know, of course I'm drawn to and looking for and experiencing a better quality of sex. In the West, we have a lot of people going to yoga classes, and they're going to yoga, say, to lose weight or to look a certain way, which is really not what yoga is designed for at all. It's not the core of yoga. So we obviously, in the West, we take these things, these deeper spiritual teachings, and we make them as superficial as possible so that we can kind of look good or feel good. So tantric sex or the like obviously is a great example of that there are deeper purposes and deeper experiences to be had exploring sexual energy. So we in the West, we fly to India and to different places, and we try to do courses on tantric sex so we can have great sex, yeah. And superficially it's kind of said, oh yeah, you have better intimacy and all the rest. So I'd prefer to kind of be a bit more blunt about these things, because it clears people out pretty quickly, and I'm quite happy to do that. So like with shadow work, I try not to say, oh, your life's going to be great and it's going to, you know, you'll embrace your dark side. And no, I say your life could well fall apart. I lived in my car for 3 years. Maybe your marriage will end. You'll fall apart, basically, emotionally, maybe physically. And then hopefully you'll find a deeper connection or a deeper realization of who you are. And then you'll be present in the world. And then you'll have something great to offer, because you'll have been on this great journey. And immediately that rules a lot of people out. So I know that people who then follow up, I know, there's something in them, there's some fight in them, and I'm interested, I'm curious, you know, how much guts they have. So tantric sex, or the deeper exploration in sex. If I was to say in these videos, you know, you'll have better sex life and it'll be wild, you're going to have fun, and you and your partner are going to have great nights out or great nights in. Great nights out just could be weird, but I'm sure I get loads of hits, you know, loads of subscribers and all that kind of stuff. But so what I have noticed is, you know, in that video about sexual remapping, immediately I got loads of hits. There was loads of views for me. For my channel, loads of views. And the ironic thing is that in videos prior to that, like on the flow of life, doubling down on presence, which is a really important video, people ain't that interested in it. But if you mention sex, you know, they are interested. So here's the catch. Those videos are the foundation of the sexual remapping video, but they're obviously not exciting. It doesn't get people all juicy and excited and adrenaline, and you know. So that fascinates me. It's the human mind, you know. We love the buzz, and that's why Shakespeare was so successful and continues to be. So here's my point. Yeah, great sex. It comes by going through that challenge and through the darklands, through the darkness of embracing who you are, you know, witnessing and working through your shadow, and then being able to show and reveal that shadow to someone else. Those two things, and I guarantee you that's where great sex can come, because you can find yourself in those intimate moments that you may feel emotional, your partner may feel emotional, he or she may burst into tears, into laughter, be overcome with shame or grief, sadness, who knows. These things happen. And prior to say shadow work, or being able to gradually reveal ourselves to another person, what happens when we're in the intimate act with someone is we're not really open, we're holding something back. And you know, often that's why women have trouble orgasming with men. They maybe need stimulation, clitoral stimulation, or oral sex, or whatever it is, because the reason is because they're not letting go. They're not letting go on, it could be the cervix level, the womb level, or around the vagina, various gateways. They're not free, they're not liberated, they're not in trust, and ultimately that comes with being in trust with themselves first, then developing that trust with their partner and exploring that. So you gotta have two people that really are on the same page, or that are willing to be seen, willing to fucking maybe have a panic attack, willing to be afraid, willing to cry, to feel judged, all that kind of stuff. It's a very gradual process. For me, it was pretty, and continues to be, a pretty terrifying process. I take my time. So then we arrive at a point where we can be with someone, and you know, we can have hair pulling and fucking arse spanking, and you can go as wild as you like, because we know that the foundation is trust. That if I panic, or if he or she panics, we're there for each other. We're going to witness each other, we're going to hold each other, we're going to trust each other, and we've been through some shit already to get to this point. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a married relationship or a long-term relationship. Personally, I leave it open to the degree of trust that can be built between two people. I feel that, for me, I don't know where I'll be in 6 months' time, but up until now I feel that the human idea of relationships is quite restrictive. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, co-worker, friends, all these kind of things. I personally am aiming for intimacy with whoever I meet, and that can be the person I pass in the street, the waiter or waitress in the cafe or the restaurant, that I can have eye contact, that I can be open-hearted, that I can be genuine, that I can allow them to see me, that I'm not acting for them. That's my goal. So that can unfold in, you know, meeting someone in a restaurant or a bar or a cafe that you want to hold their hand and that you can have an open-hearted conversation with, and maybe it leads to more, maybe not. So back in the day, that would have been wanting it to go to more, you know, wanting sex, wanting a boyfriend or a girlfriend, wanting an orgasm. These days, I'm not looking for that. I'm just being honest, that it's about being in the moment, and I'll expand on that further, because in exploring this type of intimacy in sex, if you want to call it tantric sex, there's much more depth, there's much more presence. You know, ultimately it is present. Go watch a video I made a couple of weeks ago called Double Down on Presence. Ultimately it's present, that I know that my partner is present with me. She's totally connected with me. She's totally with me in the moment. I'm totally present with her. I'm experiencing and present with my own feelings and sensations, and I'm in tune with her. That if she wavers, if she's uncomfortable, if we both get a feeling that that's it, that it's time to stop or it's time to do something else, we do that. So I feel I'm in tune with her. We're supporting each other. Now, if I go meet some random beautiful, you know, gorgeous woman, I was trying to think where. I don't really meet people. I'm totally antisocial. So if I meet someone in this magical different universe, let's say, yeah, I mean, she may be stunning, and I may be thinking of, oh, she's absolutely gorgeous, we could have amazing sex together. Maybe we could, but I know now that the physical sex does not fulfill me without the intimacy. Now, it's not that we need to fall in love, or we need to, you know, go through our whole sexual history. Yeah, it's not that we have to fall in love, it's that we're seeking, both parties have to be vulnerable, have to be open and willing to be seen, willing to go down that road. Now, I might meet that fantastic woman, but I don't know if I want to be in the situation where she's just using technique. She's seeking pleasure for her, she's seeking pleasure for me, because I've kind of got exhausted with that. So I don't want to be caught in that moment where I'm thinking, oh, I've been here before 1,000 times. Well, maybe not 1,000 times. I'm not Tom Jones now, but it's been tens of thousands of women. But to be able to try to meet this woman, I mean, meet her on an open-hearted, on a deeper level, connect with her, and see, can she meet me? Now, some people are going to get freaked out because they don't want to go there. They just want to do technique. They just want to get off. And it's if you want to open up, and again, I'm not talking about falling in love or having them falling in love with me or any of that kind of thing. We move beyond that. those who have experience now in shadow work will know that we allow these feelings to come through and witness them. It's the ego that attaches to the falling in love or to the pleasure or to whatever. So when we can allow that sensation and feeling to come through, we can witness it. It can pass. We can see that it's transient, and we can still enjoy an intimate, passionate time with this person without it having to be, I have to call them tomorrow, or we have to fall in love now, or we're going to be a couple. And maybe you are, and that's fantastic. But ultimately, it's about being open to seeing. Now, this is just for me. I'm not saying everyone has to think like this or see the world the way I do, but being open to see where this goes rather than having conditions. I've met someone, she's lovely, I hope she's the one, I hope we're going to get married, I'm going to keep checking, going to ask her that in the first date or the second or the 10th date or whatever, because I want her to fit into this box. I don't do that anymore. Be in the present, experience and the moment with this person. Obviously there's an idea of like, who should we go on holidays together, will we spend longer time together? You get a feel for these things. That's quite different to trying to make them our partner. We live in a world where we take hostages. Women are looking for the husband. Men are looking for the perfect wife, and we're looking to hold on to them as soon as we get them, and then fucking keep them a certain way, cram them into a box that they can, meet all our needs that we can't meet ourselves, and they're supposed to make us happy and fulfill us in every possible way. What a fucking nightmare. So yeah, I hope this gives a bit more of an idea of what I meant, and how I work, and the possibilities and the potential that we can enjoy ourselves, and we're not looking for something from this other person. We're not looking for them to fix us or make us feel a certain way. We're in the flow of life. Those videos, that people choose not to listen to because they're not as exciting as the sex videos, they're actually the foundation of this stuff. So yeah, if or when I'm teaching Tantra, there's a course coming up in Bali in March, or there'll be an online course next year. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you're ascended or enlightened towards a potential of a greater sexual, intimate, deeper experience. Be well.